back to Big OGGIE World. So it's been St Patrick's Day this week and we're still doing a few Irish recipes, or recipes that we liked from Ireland. And this one is a very basic one, but it's a very common one, and it's something that is reasonably cheap, dead simple to do, and feeds a lot of people for not a lot of money, basically. So we are doing boiled bacon and cabbage. That is what it is. If you talk about boiled bacon and cabbage, you're talking about a piece of bacon and a cabbage. But it's obviously served with potatoes, boiled or mashed or cold cannon or whatever, but it's usually just boiled potatoes with a little bit of butter. And we are doing a parsley sauce. Now the parsley sauce is a bit controversial because I've only had bacon and cabbage in a home setting, so it would have been served to me by relatives basically, and we never ever had parsley sauce. That might have been a personal preference for them. It might have just been because they were busy people and they didn't have time to faff around making parsley sauce. John, however, as you know, also lived in Ireland for a time. He had bacon and cabbage in a pub and was served with parsley sauce. So whether it's sort of a bit more upmarket, he had the bit more upmarket one and I had the bog standard.
Believe me, the pub wasn't upmarket.
Well, no, but like
from a pub kitchen, it was very nice. From
a pub kitchen to a domestic kitchen, there seems to be a difference in whether you have parsley sauce or not.
We've looked at some recipes, and I think maybe it's a touristy thing.
Maybe.
That they do that, but quite a few of the recipes have included a parsley sauce as an optional extra.
Yeah. So we will be making a parsley sauce, that's not a problem, it's easy enough to do. And we will be having boiled potatoes with it. But we are going to crack on first with just the boiled bacon and cabbage. So we've bought a piece of bacon, or gammon. We got this one at Morrison's, and we've chosen to go with a smoked one. Now you can choose smoked or unsmoked, it's really down to you. You need a nice size, so this one is about 2 kilos, yeah, just over 2 kilos, so about £4. And this obviously is going to serve 6, probably 4 to 6.
Probably more than that. What did it cost? About a tenner?
It's about £10, but they're obviously all priced according to weight, and we managed to get a nice sort of square one.
It doesn't have an end.
Doesn't have ends, so that's quite nice. And also we managed to get one with a skin on, which quite often at the moment they're taking all the skins off and everything. So again, you're not going to eat that, but it does hold the bacon together more, and it does give more flavour to the water which you're going to cook your cabbage in. So we are using sweetheart cabbages or hispy cabbages. We've got 2 because as you can see they're teeny tiny.
Yeah, and the reason we're using hispy because, well, there's not a lot of choice right now. It's cabbage,
oh, no. And this is sort of the traditional cabbage that you would use. Some people use a Savoy, but the majority of people would use a hispy. So what we're going to do when we cook this goes into the water that the bacon is cooked in, and we are going to quarter it. So it will go in big chunky quarters and cook in with the bacon for the last sort of 20 minutes or so. So the first thing we need to do is get a large pot of water. And I think this is one of the things that sort of makes the recipe, if you like. Because according to the research that John has done, and he's done quite a lot of research because we've had quite a lot of discussions about what's traditional and what's not, most Irish families would have probably only had one pot at one time, and it would have been a large pot, and they would have cooked maybe outside because, you know, domestic kitchens and things were sort of a development that came later. So if you think you have to add everything into that one pot, you can have a big pot. So into that pot, technically, we're going to cook our bacon, we're going to boil our potatoes, and we're going to cook our cabbage.
It's a one-pot meal.
It is a one-pot. And the flavour from all of it together mingled is just what makes it. It's just delicious. If you cook it all separate, it's not the same at all. So with the bacon, you can see there's a net on it. When I take the wrapper off in a minute, I'm going to just put my hand under the net to loosen it, but not take it off. And if you loosen it, when you cook your bacon, it won't cook into the bacon. So when you come to cut the net off, you're not going to tear pieces of the bacon away because it's been cooked in. Top tip. And then it's going to go into the pot, and it's basically, I'm going to bring it to a boil. When it comes to a boil, the chances are that it's going to be white, foamy, scummy stuff on the top, which is excess salt. So I'm going to throw that water away, top it up again with hot water, bring it back to the boil, and hopefully by then the majority of the excess salt will be gone, and we're going to let it simmer basically for the rest of the day. If you want to time it specifically, when you're cooking a joint like this, you need to be allowing something like 20 to 30 minutes per pound, or
half a kilo.
Yeah, half a kilo. So you have to work that out to the size of your bacon, but we are not that specific. We like it to cook low and slow, and so when it comes to the end of the day, when we serve it up, the meat falls apart, and obviously the cabbage goes in for the last 20 minutes. If you're going to add your potatoes as well, you're going to need to add them at least 30 minutes before the end of cooking, because it's going to take the temperature down, and you need the temperature to be quite high so that when you put your cabbage in, it is at cooking temperature again. Otherwise you're going to keep dropping the temperature and having to bring it back up, and it won't all be ready at the right time. Okay, so that's quite a lot of information. Literally, I'm just going to open my bacon now and get it in the pan and get it going, and I will come back and show you when it comes to its first boil. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so this is now boiling, so there's not that much white foamy stuff on it, but there is some. So I'm going to lift out the bacon, empty out the water, refill it with hot water, and then just leave it cook for the afternoon. Hello, welcome back. That was my Irish accent. Hello.
Well,
like a leprechaun.
Say nothing.
Right, so my bit of bacon is bubbling away behind me quite nicely. So I'm just going to show you how to prep a cabbage. God, that sounds so boring when you say it like that. How to prepare a cabbage.
It sounds exciting.
So, I've got my 2 baby cabbages.
That looks exciting.
AKA Madonna.
You must see what I was going to say. I haven't been that sore.
But we have worked out that actually the only people that are going to be eating said cabbages are me and John, really. So I don't think we need 2.
We'll have 1 today.
We'll have 1. So, Hisby. Obviously, at times they're much bigger and much fatter, if you like. At the moment, they're very small and they're quite pale. So what you want to do, well, different people do it in different ways. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quarter it and cook it in quarters, so that when it comes to dishing up, I can just pick up a piece of cabbage and put it on our plate. A lot of the recipes will tell you to take the stalk off, take the core out the middle, and then chop it finely. If you want to do it like that, that's absolutely fine. I think, to be honest, we're doing it in quarters so that it looks quite nice on a plate, so we can show you at the end of the day. But however you prefer it, you do it your way.
It's cabbage at the end of the
day. It's cabbage, absolutely.
So you're taking the outer leaves off?
So I've taken the loose outer leaves off. With a Hisby, you get like loose ones, and then you get like the heart, if you like. So take the loose ones away, because they're just going to float off anyway. And then take the end off. So like, don't cut right on the end. You need to take quite a bit off, because you don't want too much of the tough stuff. So sort of like that. And then you're going to quarter it. And if you do it like that, because you've still got a bit of the core at the bottom, predominantly that will stay in one piece. Obviously there's going to be small casualties. There we go. So that's the cabbage prepared. And literally we're just going to put that in as a piece, like that. Obviously, or maybe not so obviously I should say, because you are cooking, I'm going to cook my potatoes in there and also my cabbage, one pot wonder, love it. Because you've got salty bacon in it, you do not need to add any salt. Don't add any salt, or you won't be able to eat it, quite frankly. I think different places there's a different salt content. Maybe if you get it from a butcher, there might be less salt in it. But certainly the type that you get from the supermarkets or pre-packed stuff tend to be very heavily salted. So I'm going to leave that now. I'm going to peel some spuds to put in at about half an hour, 40 minutes before the end.
How are we doing, darling?
Well, the meat has been simmering away, as you can see. I'll try and get a fork so I can lift it for you. There we go.
Yep.
So it's done lovely. You can see all the, I guess what you'd call fat in the...
Well, that's the goodness, isn't it?
That's
It's the flavour.
It's the flavour, that's what I meant. It's not actually technically fat. So obviously you can see what I've done, and that is try to make it so that the skin side is down so that I don't ruin the good bit of the bacon, basically. But that's going to change now anyway, because now we're going to add our potatoes. So they're sort of a good size. If you saw our video on cold cannon, you would know that most potatoes in Ireland, they tend to prefer floury potatoes. And if you were going to put roosters in here, floury potatoes in here, you could use the same sort of sizes I've just put in, but in their skins, and just cook them in there with their skins.
Yeah, or a King Edward, just done a floury potato in Britain anyway. So.
Yeah. So you can either, if you're going to use floury, I would recommend that you probably put them in with their skins on, unless you cook them separately and then add them into the juice for like just 10 minutes or something at the end, just to get
this
a
is
bit of
basically
taste.
boiled bacon and cabbage, not
Exactly.
boiled bacon and potatoes. So you could cook them separately if you want to.
I mean, you don't even have to have boiled potatoes. I mean, if you want, you could have something like mashed, or you could have whatever the hell you want. You don't need to have boiled potatoes.
But it's a one pot cook, so you can put potatoes in it and you can put the cabbage in it.
Absolutely.
Up to you.
So I'm going to put the lid back on now and leave those potatoes to cook. And then about 20 minutes before the very end, when I'm going to serve up, that's when I'm going to add my cabbage in. And that will be the final flurry, should we say. Okay, so the potatoes are almost done. So I'm going to put in the cabbage now, and then that will be us done. Just drop it in. It doesn't matter if bits fall off. It all adds to the taste. In it goes. Like that. Smidge them down a bit if you can. And then put your lid back on, and we're done.
Finish up, love. Do a finish.
Do a finish?
Yeah,
okay. So, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, please do. If you have, that's brilliant. But if you can find somebody else to subscribe to, you'll be even more better friend. Remember to hit the notification bell so that you know when things are coming. And also go over to Facebook and join our Big OGGIE World Facebook page, which is completely free. You don't need to subscribe to it. You just rock up, come on in and see who's around. Have a chat if you like. Send us pictures of your dinner. If you've got a favourite recipe, tell us. If there's recipes you'd like us to try, tell us. But the Facebook group gets a lot more interaction going. So that's the place to be if you are into food and drink.
I wasn't going to come on today because I'm looking really scruffy because I'm sorting out my studio. I'm in a procrastination mode today.
You are.
Dealing with everything on my studio to get it right. However, we were going to serve this with parsley sauce.
We are going to serve parsley sauce.
We're going to do a separate parsley sauce video because we think it's important that people who don't actually would know about bacon and cabbage, etc., may also need to use parsley sauce for something else. So we're going to do a separate parsley sauce video, yes?
Yes, because I used to like cod in parsley sauce.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
So we'll make a proper, from scratch, fresh parsley sauce. This is not out of a packet.
Right, so the next video after this will be how to make
the
parsley
sauce. So if you want that to go with your bacon and cabbage, obviously scroll on and go and find that one, and then come back to finish your cabbage. If not, then...
Look, it's going to take them a couple of days to go and get a piece of gammon and whatever and
You
come
never
back
know.
after watching this. So, get your parsley bits while you're there at the same time.
See you all again in a minute. Bye for now.